Hey everyone, thanks for joining us again as we create our adoptive family. Good morning. Today is kind of a big day. Today we are having what is called the bonding meeting. So after we go through bonding week, which is this whole last week that we've done, then we meet again with ICBF for the bonding meeting, and they just talk to us about how things went, how we're feeling about things, and we kind of give like our final thumbs up that we're all good to go and we're all on board with the adoption. So last time we did this with Paula, we actually went to ICBF and talked with them there. It's kind of interesting though that they're coming here to our little apartment, so that's kind of different. I don't know if that's typical for places outside of Bogota. I don't know. Seems a little weird to me, but hey, it is what it is. So we've just been getting ready this morning, getting things organized, getting breakfast, dressed, all that stuff, and also getting things packed up because this afternoon this evening, I guess, we will be flying to Bogota. So here we go. We just had the meeting in our apartment, which went really well, but it turns out we do have to go to ICBF anyways to get paperwork. So that's where we're headed right now. Okay, so we went to ICBF and we chatted with them a little bit, but the papers weren't done. So our caseworker is supposed to be bringing them by hopefully soon because we're leaving in less than an hour for the airport. So I messaged her to see how it's going. We'll see. So I wanted to share maybe just a couple final thoughts about Medellin for anyone who is thinking about coming out here or maybe coming out here for adoption, or you just want to know what's Medellin like. So one thing, if you've noticed, there's just lots and lots of greenery, lots of plant life. I found out that the plants are protected here. I don't know if it's just in Medellin or if it's all of Colombia. The trees that grow, they can't be cut down by the businesses, by people who live in houses. You have to get special approval to remove plants and cut down trees. Also, on a property, a business, a house, you have to have a certain amount of land dedicated to plants and trees. And if you're a building like a big building, kind of skyscraper, or an apartment building that just goes straight up, so much of your apartment building has to have plants. So you either have to have plants inside, a courtyard with plants, or you have to have terraces with plants. So you see that a lot, terraces with plants, or like a little courtyard, or just even potted plants inside. So they very much prize the la naturaleza, the nature. Okay, so another thing I wanted to comment on safety. A lot of people wonder about safety in Colombia. Where we're at in Poblado is probably one of the safer areas, but there's a lot of safe areas in Medellin. Medellin, though, does have a history of violence from Pablo Escobar. Whenever he was around, there was a lot of the narco trafficking happening. And so the people are very cautious here. You see there's all the plants, just tons and tons of plants, but if you look through the rows of plants that line buildings and gardens, surround property, if you look through those plants, there's either just chain link fences, sometimes barbed wire, there's even rebarb, and we've seen electric fences as well. Most all buildings, to get into a building, they have, a lot of them have security guards. Like at our hotel, there's a security guard. Walking into a grocery store, walking into a lot of buildings, there's just security guards at the front or around the front. A lot of the places will also have like what they call portones. They're gates that then have a a gated door that has to be unlocked to be able to get in. Same kind of thing we saw in Bogota also. You'll also see military out here with their like the big guns, with their rifles just hanging around their neck and hanging down. You don't see that in the States, but they're just very cautious because there's still a lot of gang activity. There's still a lot of drug activity and civil war protesting. Those kind of things still happen. When we were here last time with Paula, there were a lot of protests that were happening in Bogota. We actually kind of accidentally wandered into the middle of a protest. We were on a street where they closed the street so that the people protesting could walk down the street, and we're like, maybe this isn't the best area for us to be in. You just kind of don't know around here. But a couple things. One, because they are super cautious, generally it's safe. But you do need to be smart. You need to use common sense. Don't just walk around with like an easy to grab purse, an easy to grab phone. Try not to be a target. Of course, like, you're going to be a tourist. That makes you a target because people know that there's not really anything that you can do, which can happen in the States also. The only problem is in the States, because you have rights as a citizen, there's more that you can do to correct the problem and to get help. Here, or in any country, when you're in a foreign country and you don't have rights as a citizen, getting help can be a lot more difficult. So, just be very smart. Be smart about what you're doing. Be cautious. Stay in places that are more public, more touristy. I know a lot of times we're like, oh, I want to go to places that aren't as touristy so I can really see what the people are like. Like, when you're in something like this, don't do that. Especially when you're trying to do an adoption. You've got kids. You're trying to get the adoption completed. You want to get in and out of the country safely. Don't be the explorer. It's not time to be the explorer. So those are my couple thoughts about Medellin. There are a lot of really cool places, like, for example, going out to Guatape and La Piedra, the rock that we climbed. That is definitely a must-do. You must do that. Because it's about a 2.5-hour drive out there, you're going to want to hire someone, most likely, to take you. Like, a lot of the hotels will do excursions, or different places will offer excursions. It's a little bit expensive, but it's worth it, especially if your kids have grown up here, and especially if they've never been. Like, Juan has never been, but he's lived here his entire life. And Paula, even though she hasn't lived in Medellin, she's from Colombia, and it's still, something cool and important for her to go to. So even if it was a little bit of expensive, it was worth it for them to be able to go, because you don't know when or if they'll be able to return into it. So take advantage of those things as you can. So, all right, well, hopefully those papers show up soon, and then if I can talk, hopefully those papers will show up soon, and then we will be headed out to the airport. We're in the airport. We got ourselves a few treats. This is an alfajor. We're gonna see what it tastes like. Has has dulce de leche, or as it's called here, arequipe. It's good. This is a kind of a croissant kind of thing with cheese. Oh yeah, that's good.
What do you think? Good?
Oh, I'm not sure what this is. It's like a,
Es bola de queso.
I think it's a, yeah, bread that's like infused with cheese. It's good too. It's all good.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, the hair on the back of my neck is standing up on end. It is pouring outside. There was just a huge, like, lightning strike, and the light and the light and the thunder went at the same time. So it's like right here where we are. Our flight is majorly delayed. We were supposed to leave here at 6:30. It's already 6:15, and they still haven't boarded the flight before us. So it looks like James is kind of monitoring it online, and it looks like we may not leave till 9 or later. So we'll see. We might be doing the long haul here in the Medellin airport. It's about 8:15 and we finally made it on the plane. So we're almost leaving almost 2 hours late, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna get to Bogota. ¿Dónde estamos?
En Bogotá.
Yeah!